Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is more hurtful to working families is unfair trade practices that have undermined the American worker for decades. The tariffs imparted by President Trump are proving necessary to ensure fair trade, protect American workers, and reduce trade deficits by bringing other nations to the negotiating table. Access to the American economy is a privilege. President Trump is taking decisive action to comprehensively renegotiate the tariff posture of the United States and the rest of the world for the first time since World War II. His efforts are focused on achieving global free trade, decoupling developing countries from competitive nations like China, and for national security purposes. And from what we've seen, President Trump is winning. According to an article from NPR on August 11th, tariffs are adding tens of billions of new dollars of federal revenue, with Treasury bringing in more than $29 billion in customs and excise taxes, a category that is overwhelmingly tariff revenue. Countries like India, China, and South Korea are among the numerous nations across the world flocking to the negotiating table. This comes on the heels of the successfully negotiated trade deals by President Trump, like with the EU, Japan, the UK, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. President Trump is utilizing all available tools in his pressure campaign to make good on his promises to secure the border, protect our communities, and level the global playing field to ensure fair trade for American producers and the American worker. Thank you, and I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I just say to the gentlelady that that's a lot of words to justify the biggest tax increase on the American people, on average of $2,300 a year more because of these tariffs. But I would just say to the gentlelady as well that if you think that these policies are great, if you want these tariffs to continue, then you shouldn't be afraid to vote for them. Have a debate on the floor and let people vote up or down on them. I don't understand why that is such a controversial thing to want to advocate for, especially in the House of Representatives, where we're supposed to be able to debate important issues. And that's all people, if you have the votes, if everybody thinks it's a great policy, then they all vote yes, and they continue. But I'm glad the gentlelady brought up the economy, because I want to speak about the economy just for a couple of minutes here. Mr. Speaker, the consequences of Trump's economic policy are being felt in communities across the country. Prices on fruits and vegetables, meat and poultry, and dairy are all up, and they're likely to climb even higher as Trump's tariffs ripple through the supply chain. President Trump and Republicans promised to reduce grocery prices. Instead, grocery prices spiked at the fastest pace in 3 years last month. They promised to cut electricity prices in half. Instead, August electricity prices were over 6% higher than they were a year ago. They promised to reduce inflation. Instead, we saw the largest monthly increase in inflation since January. They promised to create jobs. And instead, for the first time in nearly 4 years, the economy lost jobs in June. We lost jobs in June. And job growth has been stagnant for months. Mr. Speaker, the Trump economy is not working for the American people. But do you know who it is working for, Mr. Speaker? The millionaires and the billionaires who contributed to his campaign. Hardworking Americans deserve a hell of a lot better than a rigged economy that only works for the ultra-wealthy. People are hurting. Do town halls, I would say to my Republican friends. You could hear it firsthand. Go to the grocery store and watch as people are putting items back because the prices have gone up so much. People can't, this is not sustainable. And at a minimum, the Republican leadership here should not be afraid of debate and votes. We ought to bring these important items to the floor. We have a constitutional responsibility when it comes to trade and tariffs to debate and to vote on these items. We ought to bring them to the floor. Let's have a thoughtful debate, and then people can vote accordingly, and then they can defend that vote when they go back to their districts. With that, I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentlelady from Indiana is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a little bit disingenuous to criticize the president on tariffs when every single Democrat voted for the largest tax increase in American history just recently. Because in the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, under the One Big Beautiful Bill, the typical family now, because of House Republicans, is going to get up to $10,900 in additional take-home pay. Workers will see increased wages up to $7,200. Households earning less than $100,000 a year will get a 12% tax cut compared to today. Up to 7.2 million jobs have been protected and created, and 1 million new jobs annually will be created by small businesses. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, car loan interest relief, tax relief for seniors will put more money annually into Americans' pockets, $1,300 per tipped worker specifically, and $1,400 for hourly workers. We lock in and further boost the doubled child tax credit to $2,200 for more than 40 million American families. To put quite simply, we are starting to build the financial future for this country after years of Democrat mismanagement. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what the gentlelady is talking about, but the Yale Budget Lab finds American households could pay $2,300 more on average as a result of the current tariff policy. Nearly 3 times the average, roughly $800 benefit from the OBBBA's new tax provisions, the Big Beautiful Bill, or whatever they call it. We call it the Big Ugly Bill, by the way, which is the most unpopular piece of legislation, I think, in history. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. You know, talk to regular people. Go to a grocery store. Go to a coffee shop. Do a town hall. Talk to people about how they're feeling, and they're not feeling good. They're not feeling good, and they're going to feel even worse if you don't address the health care cliff that we're about to confront. You know, Mr. Speaker, across the country, children and families, grandparents, small business owners, teachers, and veterans are about to receive the unwelcome news that their health care premiums are skyrocketing to record highs. Millions of Americans face an awful decision on the horizon as they sort through their bills and are forced to decide which ones to pay. Republicans could have spent the summer working with Democrats to reach a bipartisan agreement. Instead, they spend it slashing Medicaid and the ACA by $1 trillion. Now, make no mistake, Republicans are kicking 15 million people off their health care coverage. 15 million people. Republicans are jeopardizing access to prenatal care. They're cutting NIH's budget and taking food benefits away from families, all basically to help pay for tax cuts to the ultra-rich. Mr. Speaker, nearly 24 million people in this country have health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. With Republican inaction, their premiums will increase by an average of 93%. A 60-year-old couple making $80,000 per year would see their premiums increase by over $70,000 per year. That's like $1,400 per month. A family of 4 earning $64,000 will owe an extra $2,600 in health care premiums every year. Where on earth are families supposed to find this kind of extra money? 5 million Americans, including 2 million with chronic conditions, will lose their health care coverage due to the Affordable Care Act cuts alone, not to mention the 10 million more who will lose coverage due to the already enacted Medicaid cuts in the Republicans' Big Ugly Bill. In each of the districts we represent, Americans will have to choose between paying rent, buying groceries, or affording health care. Mr. Speaker, 26,000 Americans in the Gentlewoman's District in Indiana will face higher premiums or lose their health care altogether. 26,000 people. It's a lot of people. We live in the richest country in the world, and Republicans have no problem forcing families to go without food because health care premiums are sky high. This is crazy. I mean, health care ought to be a right in this country. It ought not to be a privilege. And when people lose their health care, what do? They get their health care at emergency rooms. And that's the most costly and inefficient form of health care. You know, honest to God, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how my Republican friends can talk to people back home in their districts and somehow justify what they are doing. Do Republicans actually think that denying health care coverage is good for someone? I mean, seriously, is that popular in Indiana? Is it popular in any state in this country? This is shameful, Mr. Speaker. The American people deserve better. Congress must address this health care cliff now. And when the Speaker of the House says, oh, well, we'll deal with it in December. We'll talk about this in December. First, we have no guarantees that they'll want to deal with it. But, let's push this discussion up till December. December is too late. The crisis is about to occur. We have an opportunity to do something, and we're doing nothing. We're doing nothing. This is so wrong. This is immoral, Mr. Speaker. This cannot be justified. There's no way to be able to explain this back home. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve my time.
Gentleman reserved. Gentlelady from Indiana is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What the American people know, what I hope they know, is that this is a lot of political theater going on today, and I'm sorry about it. I really am. Premiums are high because of Obamacare. The Unaffordable Care Act did nothing to lower health care costs and instead raised costs. And subsidizing the failed policies of the Democrat Party is not a solution. It's a Band-Aid at best, and it perpetuates the problem. Republicans are focused on fixing health care, on reducing cost, on raising reimbursement rates, and reforming the system, which Democrats broke in the first place. They are fighting for their constituents against a problem that they created. This is a crisis created by the Obamacare plan in the first place. And we can't just keep throwing money at the problem. That can't be the only answer. We need to have conversations about how to make these programs work for the American people, and it's House Republicans that are leading that charge. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the central issue at hand right now is health care. Let me repeat it. It is health care. Health care, health care, health care. And I love it. I mean, I don't know how. I'm surprised they didn't blame Bill Clinton, but now we're going back to Obama to blame him for the current, with the current crisis in healthcare. Give me a break. Look at the polling. The ACA is pretty popular. What's not popular is the big ugly bill that you guys passed just a few months ago. People are outraged over the fact that you're cutting Medicaid by $1 trillion. You're cutting monies for NIH. That's the National Institutes of Health is where we fund research to find cures to diseases and to sicknesses. You want to save money? Let's find a cure to Alzheimer's. Let's find a cure to Parkinson's disease. Let's find more cures to cancer. I mean, that is a way you can save money. But I think that what the Republicans are doing right now is they want to say that the Affordable Care Act is not working by defunding it, by dismantling it. My Republican friends are doing nothing to address the central issue at hand right now, which is health care. People are going to lose their health care. People are going to see their premiums skyrocket. And all the while, I mean, we're trying to help you here. We're saying we'll work with you. Let's address this so people don't suffer. I mean, the whole point of what we're doing here should be about improving the lives for people we represent, for improving the lives of people in this country. And an all-out assault against their health care is coming down the road. And we can do something about it. We want to work with you to do something about it. And my Republican friends keep on saying no. We're not interested. We're not interested. Well, I mean, what are my Republican friends interested in? I mean, you look at the big ugly bill. It's tax cuts for multimillionaires, tax cut for multi-billionaires. All these giveaways to the fossil fuel industry. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, the Republican prescription for health care is take 2 tax cuts and call me in the morning. I mean, the bottom line is a crisis is about to happen in this country. We're right at the cliff, and we can do something about it. We can help our constituents. We're urging you, we're begging you to work with us so we can address these concerns in health care, and we're being told, no way, no consultation, no cooperation, no collaboration, no negotiation, no nothing. Remember, it was Democrats that capped the price of insulin for Medicare. It is Republicans that cut Medicaid by $1 trillion. So that's the difference here. That's the difference. And again, we ought to be addressing this crisis now before our constituents, are hurt in a way that, quite frankly, they're not prepared for. They don't even know this is coming. We all know it's coming. There's no excuse to not know what's about to happen. Every major organization, CBO, everybody's already told us. The insurance industry, everybody's told us about what's about to happen. And my Republican friends are like, no, business as usual. Let's just kick the can down the road. And, we just want to, we'll fund the government for 7 weeks and no promise of anything. This is not the way this Congress should be run. I reserve my time.